Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Jay, and this is another episode of In 5 Years Time, and this time we do have Liverpool, and I'm just going to get this underway straight away. The first player that we do have is one of the men of the moment, which is Luis Suarez, and boy, he is a great guy. I don't know whether to forgive him for what he did to Ivanovic and how he basically robbed us from last season. That was last season and we're talking about now, and as you can see, the guy is an absolute animal, an absolute great striker. The mental stats are there, which I've said in a previous episode before. If you have mental stats, you can just be a great player. And as a striker, 14 finishing, 14 first touch, 15 free kicks, 11 heading, and especially at the age of 31 now, is just absolutely great. And I think he should stay at Liverpool. There's offers coming in from Real Madrid, and I think it was just Real Madrid. They offered like 20 million and Benzema, and I think he should definitely stay at the club. So next up, we do have Liverpool goalkeeper Pepe Reina. I'm not sure what to call him. But anyway, I'm not sure whether he's gonna be at Liverpool next season, just because they do have Mingnolet, and he is actually playing really good. And I don't think they'd ever buy a goalkeeper and then put him as number 2 unless he's coming as a backup goalkeeper. But I don't think he's going to be at Liverpool next season. Whether he does go to Barcelona, which is rumoured because Valdez hasn't renewed his contract. But as you can see, he does have really good stats. At the age of 35, you'd be considering whether he still would be a footballer at that age, because goalkeepers actually do go on to be quite high ages. But I just doubt he'd be at Liverpool. But he does have really good stats, especially for a 35-year-old goalkeeper. Next up, we do have Suarez's partner in crime, which is Daniel Sturridge. And at 28, he probably would be in his absolute prime right now, especially if he is still Liverpool. And I can almost guarantee Liverpool will be doing a lot better than they are right now if they can hang on to just those two players themselves, because they're literally just running the show at the moment. But as you can see, 15 finishing and 8 heading. He's not the tallest of players, and I haven't seen him actually score much headers. He did try to score a header this season, and it ended up coming off his hand. And so this shows he's not especially great with his head. His mental stats aren't all there, but he is very quick, as you can see. 17 acceleration, 18 agility, 15 pace. Absolutely great for Daniel Sturridge, who's an ex-Chelsea player. Next up, we do have Joe Allen, which is a player they did used to call I think it was the Welsh Xavi when he was at Swansea, and he actually did have really good passing. He had one of the best passing success rate or pass accuracy. Was one of those 2 stats in Europe, and he hasn't really broken into the Liverpool first team this season. I think he did get 20 plus appearances last season, but this season he's only got about 2, and one of them was in the League Cup. So you can shows how he's not really playing a lot of football. But as I said, his passing is great, and as you can see, he does a really good mental stats. So his teamwork and work rate are all there, and that is exactly what you'd want in a centre mid. So you do have the beast now, which is Mamadou Sakho, and at 28 years old, this guy would still be an absolute tank, probably even better tank than he is now. And he was a really good signing for Liverpool. They caught a lot of people off guard. I didn't expect. I was like, what, Sakho to Liverpool? And I was just really surprised about that, because I think he is a really good centre back, and I think it's because PSG did sign Marquinhos from Roma, who was a Brazilian centre back who's very young, and I think he does have a lot of potential to go somewhere. But 19 strength, and I've heard this guy is just an absolute beast in real life, and then Liverpool training session, etc. He's broken equipment and stuff just with his sheer strength. Next, we do have Jordan Henderson, and just looking at these stats, you can show why Liverpool would have so much faith in him. At the age of 27, he seems to just have absolutely ridiculous stats. Looking at his stats here, long throw, heading, and bravery are just the only ones that are not over 13, apart from aggression. But that is absolutely amazing, especially for a centre mid. He has developed to become a right mid, and because you can see his pace is actually, I think that's probably gone up a lot. So him playing a right mid and looking at these stats would be absolutely, you wouldn't really question it. The passing is there, the crossing is there, and it's absolutely amazing for Jordan Henderson, who's a player I might actually consider investing in future FM saves, because he looks like to just be absolutely amazing. Next, we do have Philippe Coutinho, who is one player that I do really like. I did like him at Inter Milan, and when he did go into Liverpool, I was a bit upset that he didn't go to Chelsea, but I don't think there was ever room into it. But I would have loved him to play for Chelsea, but it just didn't happen. And he is really, I really do like this guy. You know, he's got really great dribbling, and I'm not even looking at, I'm just saying what I've known, really great dribbling and stats like that. You want in a cam. In the save, he actually gone to Real Madrid, and that would definitely be understandable. Someone of his quality is just absolutely amazing. He has a technique, you know, his passing is 16, which is absolutely great for a cam, which you definitely want, and creativity is also there as well. Next, we do have Liverpool's left back, which is Jose Enrique, and he's another player that I say, I don't know how to describe, but I think they're unlucky to be the nationality they are. Obviously, there's nothing you could change about that, because him playing for Spain, as you can see, 5 years later, he still only has 2 appearances for Spain, and I'm pretty sure those have happened previously, because you know, Spain have great left backs, Jordi Alba and players like that you know you're just never gonna get a run in unless it's a friendly or something. But playing in friendlies is not what you want to do. You want to be playing in the competitive matches. But he is absolutely a quality left back, and Liverpool do have a really good left back in him. I think he was one of the best left backs in the Premier League last season. I'm not sure who he was up there with, but he was one of the top, and you can see why, because he's just 5 years later, at the age of 32, obviously has moved on from Liverpool, but at the age of 32 he still has absolutely great stats there for a left back. Next, we do move on to Iago Aspas, which is a player I previously never heard of before he came to Liverpool. You know, I probably heard his name a few times, but I never really considered it or just taken any notice. But he is actually a really good striker. You know, I feel at the moment in time I do feel sorry for him and Luis Alberto, because obviously, you know, Sturridge and Suarez are not going to bench them unless one of them gets injured, and then that means they'll have a chance. But anyway, as you can see, Iago Aspas, he does have really good finishing and really good first touch. You know, his composure is there. And he's 30 years old now, so whether he'd still be at Liverpool or not, if he does get any chances, you'll never know. But anyway, next is Liverpool's #1 goalkeeper, which is Simon Mignolet, and wow, what can I say about this guy? He is just a really, really good keeper. You know, Liverpool really did do well by bringing him in from Sunderland, because he had an absolutely amazing season for Sunderland last season. And as you can see here, I just thought I'd point this out. You know, 14 appearances for Belgium, which would be understandable because they do have current on-loan goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois, who's actually on loan to Atletico Madrid. I don't know why I mentioned that. But anyway, those two guys, they're absolutely amazing. They're both really young goalkeepers. Obviously, Mignolet is a bit older, but whether you see in real life the competition with those two, it's going to be really hot, because Mignolet is an absolutely quality goalkeeper, and you can still see 5 years late, you know, 19 one-on-ones. That must mean he keeps an absolutely ridiculous amount of clean sheets. But him and Thibaut Courtois are going to have to really battle it out, especially with the World Cup coming up this season. Could be pivotal to who is the number. I can almost guarantee they'll both be going to the World Cup, but whoever starts the majority of the matches, it'll all be down to this season. Next up, we do have one of Liverpool's main prodigies, which is Raheem Sterling. And Raheem Sterling is known for his pace and his dribbling, and those are probably his most 2 outstanding stats here. He doesn't have great stats, you know, but he is a winger, so some of these wingers only limited to like a lot. They don't need all of the mental stats, they just need the stats and attributes to play in their position, which, you know, is creativity, passing, crossing, dribbling, flair, and as you can see, those are the ones that are sticking out. Next, we do have Sebastian Coates, who I'm not sure he's actually at Liverpool this season, or if he's gone out on loan, because I haven't ever seen him, or he might be injured. But I do know that he is actually a really decent centre back. He is still very young in real life, and as you can see, 5 years later, he has actually gone to become a really good centre back. He has left to go into the Liga BBVA, but as you can see, these stats here, you know, the tackling and the mental stats, you know, they're all in the 13, 15 range, and actually good there for Sebastian Coates. Next, we do move on to Andre Wisdom, and I've seen him quite a lot because he has featured a lot. I know it's Liverpool. They do have the squad that allows them to, you know, bring in young players and give them chances, which is really good for a team, especially a lot of English players, because, you know, England are absolutely crap. So to bring up all these English players and let them be playing Premier League football is absolutely amazing. And as you can see, Andre Wisdom has gone on to become a really, really quality centre-back. You know, that strength, he's just a tank. The tackling is also there. Teammate work rate could be a lot better, especially for a centre-back. But he does actually play, I'm pretty sure he does actually play right back. I'm not sure if he actually has played centre back, but when I have seen him play, I think he is playing on one of the full back roles, and he does have the stats to play there. So next we do have one of Liverpool's main centre-backs, which is Martin Skrtel, and at the age of 33, there's not too much to write home about here. He's another player who is, he has only the attributes to play his position. You know, you wouldn't want to see him be playing anywhere else, and as you can see, you know, he does have great physical stats, which you especially do need for a centre-back. But, you know, tackling, work rate, and determination is just the stats you want in a centre-back, but there's not too much to write home about where you'd want him to see him do any better. Next, we do have Alberto, who, as I said, was talking about him and Iago Aspas not getting many chances at Liverpool this season. I still can't get him. You know, Alberto is a bit younger. He's only at the age of 20, so he still does have a long way to go in his career. And to be at a club like Liverpool at the age of 20, you know, it shows that you do have a lot of potential. But whether he does get played or not is another question. But he does have really good stats. You know, he has fallen down to be a cam. I'm not sure if he is a cam or a striker in real life, but I know he does play in one of either two positions. But he does have great passing at 15 passing and flair, as also dribbling. Physical stats today, you know, his balance is not too great, but his finishing is only 10, so I'm guessing he was not a great striker, and he has gone down to sit in a cam role, whereas you can see that is a position he's more developed in. Last but not least, we do have Glen Johnson, and he has actually moved on at age of 33. He's just absolutely amazing stats, and as you can see here, he can play in a whole variety of positions on the left hand side, in the centre, and on the left, and yeah, so as you can see, he does have great stats, especially for a fullback, and as someone, if you do require, you could play him in centre-back. But either way, guys, I know there's been a lack of players in this episode, and that's mainly because I couldn't find them for some reason or another, and or many of them have gone on to, you know, retired really early and gone on to be coaches. But anyway, this has been your boy Jay. Please follow me on Twitter at @JROM_tier17, and if you did like this video, please like, comment for what you'd want to see and anything I can improve, and subscribe for more FM14. Anyway, peace.